So just to catch you back up from where we were yesterday and where we've come up to this point, we have established that stress can manifest itself in many different ways, but the underlying causes are one, this need for approval, and two, our desire to want to control. And that control can be defined in a few different ways. And specifically today, we're talking about our need to be perfect and our need to know. Now, let's talk about perfection. And when I say this, you're smart enough to understand, and I think that we'd agree that while there are images of perfection around us, perfect images of humans, places, and things, at this logical level, we know that these things are illusions, that we can't really possibly have a perfectly behaved family, pristine environment with which we live in, perfectly executed project at work, or a perfectly formed body. That part I think we're on the same page with, but there's another level where I seem to believe that perfection is actually possible. And because it's possible, I must be a failure if I fail or if I fall short of it. So probably what we need to be in alignment with is that it's impossible to be in absolute control of every aspect of your life. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't take ground in every aspect of our life, but to have this preconception that perfection is possible in all areas is just a lie. Can you be in control of some things? Yes. The thing is, there's only one thing that can be first place in your life. Do you agree with that? First place is probably where there is the most order, where we have the most control, or where we choose for it to be. Now, whatever isn't in first place can have some order, some control, but not all of it. It isn't possible to maintain every aspect of our life to that same level. So once again, we're faced with a choice. Do I do the dishes now, or do I play with my kids now? Do I want better control and order over the cleanliness of the kitchen, or do I want better control and order over the activities of my children? Some point, you may decide that the kitchen needs the attention. It's not always the low-hanging fruit like you think. I'm constantly asking myself in the logical part of my brain, do I need to go from 97% to 100, or do I need to bring up my C average to a B? And gosh darn it, if the kitchen is dirty enough, maybe that's where I need to put the focus. But I think more realistically, oftentimes we do things, or we're spending time in areas where it's not really the first place in our hearts or our minds. Now, another lie that we tell ourselves is that so-and-so has it all together. Now, this may not be the image of perfection that we would see in a Instagram ad or in an Architectural Digest viewing of a home, but a lot of times we think, well, this person doesn't suffer from this lack of perfection like I do. And that's just a flat out lie. Now, the thing is that everybody has a part of their life that's about 70%. It's human nature that we highlight the parts that are about 97%, and we keep the 70% part to ourselves. But again, don't tell yourself that every single person doesn't have some area of their life that they couldn't take more ground in, because it's just not true. So a good way to reduce this type of stress is to accept the fact that perfection across the board is an illusion. Pick the areas that matter the most to you, and don't worry about the counters being clean right this second. I'll see you in the next video.